Hello, are we live? Hopefully so. It says we're live, but I can't see on the screen. Yay, there we go. Yes, okay, fantastic. How are you all? Good afternoon. Sorry I am about half an hour late. Got my timings mixed up today. I thought I was all prepared, and then it got to 10 past 12 and I can see that I was supposed to be live at 12, not 12:30, so my apologies. But I hope you've all had a lovely bank holiday weekend and you're all back to it. For those of you who are on half term, I hope you're having a great start to that as well. For those who are new and who haven't seen these videos before, basically I go live once a month on Facebook just to kind of give a little bit of a roundup of some of the headlines and changes to social media in that month. Hopefully giving you some tips and advice about how you can implement those changes into your own social media strategy. So you can go back. Hello, Nicola, how are you? And happy Tuesday to you too. Yeah, so if you haven't seen any, do take some time to go back onto the video tab on my page. You'll be able to catch up with all previous videos. And if you haven't joined the Social Media Academy Facebook group yet, there should be a link in this video to that group, because what I do every month now is exclusive for members of that group. Is I go live after the roundup and hold an Ask Me Anything. So that's basically an opportunity for you guys to ask me anything social media related and get some kind of hands-on real-time advice. So something not to be missed. So do join the group if you haven't already. And do head over there, because usually there's a bit of 15-minute break or so between the roundup and the AMA, but I will be going straight into the group after this live. So join, head over there if you haven't already. If not, I'll see you there. So, okay, how's everybody getting on? Let's start with some of the main points. There's been quite a lot of changes. I think I'd like to say that most of the changes I'm seeing are towards advertising and creators, so influencers on the platform. But obviously these things are always changing, and mainly when they implement updates to the kind of creative side of social media channels, that with the users at mind, so just general people profiles using social, those features tend to benefit businesses as well. So let's kind of crack on. I think one of the main things that I've seen through Instagram this month is a lot of focus on stories, lots of new kind of features to the content that we're able to create on stories. So we've got new stickers such as join a chat, which would allow people to join something more private on the back of content that they're seeing on stories. So if you are a business and you're trying to cultivate a community, then adding an option for people to join chats direct from your story content would be a great way to capture some of that interest and engagement. They're also launching custom AR stories, which is pretty cool. So augmented reality, which is that kind of, what it says really, is that 3D in the moment, real kind of reality aspects to the content that we're seeing. So it's not just 2D, because it's much more immersive. So basically they're launching this custom AR stories that's going to be available later this summer to all users, which is amazing. And so for businesses and brands, that really means that they're going to be able to find new ways or use new ways to create really fun creative around products and sales, particularly here if you are a product-based business, to be able to create some AR footage around what you do is going to seriously increase engagement there and really bring to life what it is that you do and what it is that you sell. They're also launching a new camera mode for stories, so you're going to be able to use the standard creative tools in stories, such as boomerang, the super zoom, rewind, all those things that you get access to when you open up your camera to create sort of photos for the grid. They're going to be implementing and rolling out those features into the camera mode on stories directly. So again, we're really starting to see some greater options and greater creative tools for you to work on stories. And again, if you guys aren't yet playing with stories, you really do need to get involved with that, because that's seriously becoming the new news feed. People are swiping left to right as soon as you open the app, rather than scrolling downwards to look for content that you might be sharing on your grid. And stories are really an opportunity for you to capture that in the moment elements to what you do. So it's much more fun and it's much more stripped back than what you'd be posting on your grid. So do bear that in mind when you're creating content for either or. So yes, it's going to be much easier for brands to create more engaging stories to promote your products or services using those new functions. So I know boomerangs work really well. I love the super zooms, and also some more GIF functionality, as well as kind of different text designs. In February's Facebook Live, we also mentioned about Instagram trialing donation stickers for charities, or for anybody running fundraisers. So you might, I'm sure you're aware by now that if you are on Facebook, you're getting prompted, if you're kind of talking about raising money for a charity, you're prompted to add that charity to your profile, your post update, so that you can take money directly through the platform. And also, as a charity, you can do that on your Facebook page. You have to kind of apply to be a charitable partner, if you like, on Facebook. And that allows you to take money directly through the platform where your customers are, as opposed to kind of sending them off to something like Just Giving, for example. So they're now rolling out for Instagram stories this donation sticker. So it's really going to allow charities, third sectors, not-for-profits to be able to start drumming up and capturing fundraising from their viewers and subscribers. So I'll pop the link to that in the comments below. But again, if you are in that sector, then this is a great opportunity for you to see some ROI from Instagram. Okie dokie. The other thing I saw on Instagram this month is IGTV changing its video format, or adding to its video format. So IGTV is the video app or element of Instagram. Obviously, we talk a lot about video content, and that's growing massively across social media landscape and will continue to grow. So as a way, because of the format of how Instagram is, there wasn't much room for long form content. So they developed IGTV. Traditionally, up until now, IGTV would only support vertical view video. Just because it's a mobile-only app, that's the drive for how users are interacting on the platform, and so it was always vertical view, which makes sense. However, it's kind of become obvious, and it's become noted, if you like, that a lot of people are still uploading or have uploaded vertical landscape videos, because if you're a brand or business, or perhaps if you're using your smartphone in that way, people tend to record or are recording in that kind of landscape view. And I think it's safe to say that IGTV hasn't really picked up and gained as much momentum as they probably would have hoped. And I think part of that is to do with the fact that people are adding landscape videos, and users aren't able to watch it, because even without, they're going to have to turn their phone, and even when doing that, the video doesn't kind of switch to the right way, and therefore people aren't engaging or watching it. So IGTV have now announced that they're going to be supporting landscape video. So that's a great opportunity for businesses and brands, again, who perhaps aren't filming in vertical view and are creating promotional content in that landscape format. So this should make it more appealing and more accessible to users who are still filming in that way, basically, and it's kind of opening its doors there for more people to use it. So again, I'll put some details about that. What else did we see? Instagram and Facebook streamlining its appointment booking feature. So I think we mentioned this last month, I'm not quite sure, but I'll add a link into the comments anyway. But organizations are now able to, if you have a business profile, so it's key that you make sure that your Instagram is switched to a business profile, are now able to take appointments or offer an appointment booking system through Instagram, which again, for people like service providers or small like retail or health and well-being organizations, then this is a great way to again convert interest and engagement from people viewing content on their Instagram profile and Facebook and get them through a booking process. Because I kind of say to a lot of clients that if you are using social media, you have to expect that those who are interacting with you want to complete that transaction from start to finish on that platform. So if I am to, let's say, book a photographer for a birthday party, I find them on Facebook, I contact them on Facebook, and ideally I'm looking for that customer service journey from interest to sale to happen on that platform, because that's how I've kind of reached out, and that's how I want that experience to happen. You have to then start sending people off to websites and calling you and etc. etc. There's a high chance that you're going to lose that conversion, that interest. So they're going to offer users the feature on Instagram and Facebook to book appointments, and they're going to have a third-party platform to manage those bookings. So make sure that you connect your business Facebook page with your business Instagram account to be able to make sure that all of those appointments are potentially collated or are collated into one place. So yes, that's a really great tool that's come through. I think we're going to see and should see a lot of services and other businesses use that function. What else? The shop tab. So here again, if you're a product focused business, the shop tab is expanding. So Instagram has now added different categories to help people browse for products, for example, clothing or home decor. So that's really going to help people discover what you have to sell on the platform a lot easier. So again, if you do sell product, make sure that you have your e-commerce facility connected up properly to your Facebook page, and make sure your categories are set up appropriately as well. The Explore tab on Instagram has a new navigation bar, so you can go directly through to IGTV content as well as shopping, but also to users' interests. So you can now start searching for things like photography, fashion, or art. So again, they're really building this out to kind of be a discovery tool for new content, which is really good. They're hoping that these changes will entice more consumers to purchase through the platform, which I absolutely agree. If it's becoming a more creative space where people can find things a lot easier based on their interests, it's likely that people will shop more. So again, a good channel for those businesses who are selling products. Okay, publicly posted stories as well are being added to the Explore tab. So when I train a lot of my clients, I kind of impress the importance of using hashtags and locations on their stories, on the little sticker options, because that's really going to help your content to be seen by more people. So as long as you're posting stories publicly, then and you're using the right features, then your content should be found by more users. Okay, moving on to YouTube. So YouTube's making its original series free to users rather than offering it as a paid subscription service, which is great. This does mean that YouTube will be able to monetize better, hopefully, their original series feature, but it also highlights that there's a growing opportunity to advertise on YouTube, and also it kind of shows that trend of video advertising on social media. So if you're looking at Facebook these days, you'll know that Facebook is prioritizing the longer form video, and adverts are kind of coming through in the middle of videos rather than at the start and the finish. So yeah, I think advertising in video naturally is going to happen, is going to increase because of the rise and the interest and interaction with video content across all platforms. But it also, I like to kind of mention in YouTube, because not many people use it actively as a tool. I think a lot of customers that I work with or see use it as a kind of storage space to host video. So it's a good reminder that YouTube is a brilliant platform to connect with your potential customers locally and internationally and nationally. It's got a high proportion of male to female users. It's great for search engine optimization, but the key thing is to, again, remember that it dictates a different type of content. So I always say, like, different content for different platforms based on the audience and based on your message. So try not to replicate everything everywhere. So you would need to have a different approach, but certainly YouTube is a great consideration for any social media strategy. Okie dokie, what else have we got? So Facebook's working on a new layout for stories. It's increasing stories on Facebook. I like that. It was very quiet for the kind of end of last year. Not many individuals were using it, let alone businesses, but I can see that's increasing, which is great. I think part of that has to do with the fact that you can now cross-post stories from Instagram to Facebook. So that does save you guys some time. But they're also replicating those features from Instagram onto Facebook with the idea and hope that actually it's going to mean that they can capture interest from their audience a lot more, and it will make their content a lot more engaging. There's been some new guidelines launched by Facebook. If you don't go onto if you haven't seen their Facebook business microsite, do Google that. There's loads of tools and support that you can get there to help make your Facebook page work for your business. But there's loads of tips on there about how to make effective stories, how to make great adverts, as well as some real easy kind of basics too, in terms of how you set things up. We've seen LinkedIn add a new ad tab for pages, just like on Facebook. So we can now see what advertisements, get my words out. We can now see what ads businesses are running or companies are running on LinkedIn if you go onto their company page. This isn't through profiles, obviously, this is on company pages. It might be worthwhile if people are considering Instagram, if people are considering LinkedIn as an advertising, or if people are considering advertising on LinkedIn, there we go, then it might be worth you thinking about who you aspire to be like, or who your competitors are, seeing if they have a company page on the platform, and then taking a look at that advertising tab so that you can get a feel for what adverts they're running, what they might look like, and how they perform and where they sit. Because it's always great learning from competitors who are bigger than you, to really get some inspiration, more to the point. And then lastly, what else have we got? Anna has printed loads of stuff, bless her, she's done really well. But I know that there's not enough time to really go through everything. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Facebook has launched some kind of measures about Facebook Live video. So it's like a one strike and you're out system for blocking Facebook Lives. Basically, if you abuse their community guidelines of the platform through Facebook Live video, you will be banned from the platform. This is really more around security issues, hate crimes, terrorism, that sort of thing, in this urge to make the platform a better place again and to get rid of fake news, etc., etc. But it is always worth familiarising yourself with Facebook's guidelines and community regulations, so you know what is good and right to post and what isn't. And I don't suspect anybody watching my Facebook Lives to be doing anything that would get them banned. But it's worth noting that as live video grows and the popularity is there is obviously going to be room for people to misuse it. So they're kind of introducing this banned one strike and you're out function or rule. Cool. So I think that's pretty much it, and we're coming up to 20 minutes. Twitter, what did we say about Twitter this month? Again, it's more about advertising. So they're testing out another version of carousel ads after previously trying several other versions of this ad format, which hasn't gained any traction. And I think carousel ads work really well on many of the other platforms. So they're kind of stripping that back and having a look at how they can offer that in a much more useful way. The version of carousel ads is similar to Facebook, allows you to swipe through different photos, adding more context to an advertiser's content. We don't know when this ad format is going to be rolling out, but it will, as I said, give brands and businesses a chance to create more engaging ads for a different audience and different demographic that are present on Twitter. Cool, so I will pop the links to all of that in the comments afterwards. If you are in the Facebook group, then head over to the Social Media Academy now, because I'm going to be jumping on live there, and you can ask me anything about social media. So it's a great opportunity to have your questions answered if anything's come up this month. If you've seen anything in the news about social media or you've noticed any changes on the platforms, as always, just pop them in the comments. I'll be happy to look into them, address them in next month's live, or answer your questions here. So thank you so much for tuning in. You've had a few people tune in, I can see. I do this every month. So take a look on the Facebook page events tab, and you'll see what time I'll be going live in June, and it tends to be the last Monday of the month. So thank you all so much for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful week. And if you're in the Social Media Academy, I will see you there very shortly. Take care. Bye.